Hello and welcome to this session in which we learn about a network. And specifically, we are going to be learning about the components of a network. Now, a network is what? Network is a simple connection between devices, between two devices. For example, you might have your computer connected to your printer. That's a network. Two devices are communicating with each other. But also a network could be something like the internet, where billions of devices worldwide are connected together. In this session, we're going to be learning about the components of a network. Now, bear in mind that the components of a network could be physical component, could be virtual component, and these networks are connected either virtually, like wirelessly, or through actual wired, and they communicate with each other via a protocol. If you look at this picture here, this will be a network right here. Let's include the firewall with it. If you see here, we have two computers, we have servers, and they are connected together, and there's a firewall. They are protected. Maybe we can call this, not maybe, we can call this a local area network. It's connected. Now, notice this local area network, if you go through the firewall, there's more lines that's connected. We're gonna call this the wide area network, which is the internet, and all sorts of computers are connected to the internet, and now you go from a local area network to a wide area network, which is the internet. Our job as a CPA candidate is not to be network expert. Now, if you want to do that, you can. That's not a bad idea. But for the CPA exam, you need to be familiar with the components of a network, whether those components are physical or virtual, and just be familiar with the role, because our job is to make sure the network is secure. And part of that is understanding the component of a network. Now, networks nowadays are fundamental to the operation of a business, government, personal communication. Right now, you're listening to me over this network. So it's very important that we want to make sure our network is secure, but also to understand the security of a network, we have to be familiar with its components. And this is what we will discuss in this session. What would a typical CPA candidate need to know about a network? Let's go ahead and get started. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, FarhatLectures.com.
Farhat Accounting Lectures is a supplemental educational tool that's going to help you with your CPA exam preparation as well as your accounting courses. My CPA material is aligned with your CPA review course such as Becker, Roger, Wiley, Gleam, Miles. My accounting courses are aligned with your accounting courses, broken down by chapter and topics. My resources consist of lectures, multiple choice questions, true-false questions, as well as exercises. Go ahead, start your free trial today.
Starting with the router, the way I'm going to explain these components, I'm going to try to use an analogy to make it easier for you to understand. So what is a router? Think of as a post office of a network. So if this is a network, so we said this is two computers and servers connected together. We might have a router that's going to connect those computers and with the servers together. Just like a post office direct mail to various addresses based on their destination written on the envelope, a router direct data packets to the correct device within the network. So a router will connect the various devices within the network, but also what's important about the router, when we think of the router, we think it's connect your local area network, for example, your home network, to the wide area network, simply put, to the internet. So what the network is going to do, so to be connected to the internet, you need a router that's going to connect your local network to the internet, to the wide network. So routers are critical, and they connect devices together, just like a post office based on a mailing address. And we're going to talk about what that mailing address is. The language that these devices could be computer, laptop, cell phone, servers, with each other is called a protocol. It's essentially the language that devices uses to communicate over a network. That's what a protocol is. It's a language. And this protocol, this language, ensure that data sent from one device, let's assume you want to print something on your printer, while you communicate with the printer, your computer or your cell phone or your tablet communicate with the printer. Now, they use a protocol. This communication is processed correctly by the receiving device, despite differences in their design, software, and capability. They understand each other through the protocol, and the protocol operates at a various layer of the network. This way, it's connecting all devices. from the physical transmission of the data, like the Ethernet card or Wi-Fi, to application level, like to connect the browsing, like web browsing, HTTP. Now, for a network to function efficiently, devices use multiple protocols, could be same protocol or different protocols simultaneously, each handling different aspect of the communication process. However, through this protocol, devices can communicate. Now, we could have billions of different devices. How do we know which device are we communicating with? Easy. We're going to have an IP address. An IP address in networking is like a home address for a device. Every device on the network. Again, we have billions of devices connected to the network. Every device will have its own IP address. And this is what an IP address would look like. It's a bunch of numbers. Just like your home address allows you to receive mail and helps others locate your home, an IP address, which is Internet Protocol address, is a unique identifier that allows a device to send and receive the data over the network. Every device, now you're listening to me either on your phone, tablet, computer, smartphone, smart TV, or some other device, you have an IP address. It's going through an IP address. There are two main versions of IP address in use. There is the IPv4, this is the most commonly used, which is it consists of 4 numbers separated by dots, like 192-168-1-1. Each number can range from 0 to 255, and this allows the combination billions of unique addresses because each device has a unique address. But guess what? That's not sufficient for every device on the internet, leading to the development of IP Internet Protocol version 6, designed to solve the address problem of the IP4. Now, these IPv6 are much longer, consisting of 8 groups of 4 hexadecimal digits separated by columns, and this is an example of it. And this format allows for a virtual unlimited number of unique addresses. So IP addresses are essential for internet operation, enabling the routing of data between devices, websites, and services, because every piece on the network, printer, copier, laptop, desktop, everything has a unique IP. And this ensures that data sent to your device reaches its correct destination because you're send it to a specific IP, and that replies can be accurately directed back to you, much like ensuring a letter sent to the postal service reaches the correct address, and when they send you a response, it goes back to you. So this is what an IP address is. It's like a home address, and it's with numbers. Firewall. What's a firewall? Act as the city wall or moat around a castle. This is what a firewall would look like physically, and this is what the firewall is. Could be a physical or a virtual for computers, but basically it serves to protect the network by monitoring incoming and outgoing traffic based on a predetermined security rules. Just like ancient city walls, they were designed to protect against invaders. This is what a firewall is. Now, you could have a firewall within your local area network, or you could have a firewall between your local network and the outside and the internet. For a WAN, the firewall analogy extends to country border. So basically, when you have a firewall to connect to the wide area network, it's like a border. Just like a border control checks that regulate who enter and who could leave the country, a firewall monitors and controls incoming and outgoing traffic based on a predetermined security rules, protecting the network from unauthorized access or attacks. Let's talk about the NIC, Network Interface Card. The Network Interface Card is like a unique name tag every conference attendee wears. So when you attend a conference, every individual that's there will wear a tag. Their name, first name, last name, and each person is unique. So each piece on the network has a network interface card. So your computer will have a network interface card, your phone, your printer, so on and so forth. Just as the name tag identify each attendee and facilitate proper interaction, a NIC card, and network interface card provide a unique identifier in the form of a MAC address. What is a MAC address? MAC address stands for Media Access Control Address. It's an address to each device on a network, enabling to send and receive data specifically to and from. So you need a card, you need an IP address to specifically identify you because you are on a network. Now, to communicate with you, we have to have an access point. So we have cables and wireless access point. Consider these as the roads and buses of a city, access points. Cables, like Ethernet cables are the road that connect different buildings, which is within the city, which is here we're talking about different devices within the network. You need an access. Wireless access point, on the other hand, are like buses that allow devices to connect to the network without physical cables, offering mobility and flexibility. So you could have cables, wireless access point, or wireless or cable, which is remote, which is you don't need cables, or with cables physical. Modem are modulators and demodulators. Think of modem as bilingual translator. What does that mean? When you visit a foreign country, a translator helps you communicate with locals who speak a different language. So if you go to a different country, you need a translator. Well, using the same logic, a modem translates the digital data from your network into a format suitable for transmission over telephone line or cable line or vice versa, facilitating internet connectivity. So you need a modem to translate the data because the data could be analog, they want to transfer it into digital. This is what the modem does. The modem can be thought of as a universal travel adapter. So the modem can be thought of this. Think about when you travel to a different country and you need an adapter. Well, to convert your device plug-in to fit into that foreign electrical outlet. Well, the modem can do that. A modem adapts the digital data from your computer into a form that can be transmitted over various types of communication line, including those used in a WAN, which is the wide area network, which is the internet. Switch. What is a switch? Think of a switch as a train switchyard. In a railway system, notice here, we can send this train, we can send it there, we can send it to this one, we can keep it going, we can send it to this line, so on and so forth. Switchyard is where train is guided into different tracks to reach the correct platform. Basically, connecting the devices, for example, connecting a desktop to a printer, you need a switch. Switch receives data packets and direct them to the correct device based on IP address, Internet Protocol contained within that packet, so they know where to go. Again, as we said, an IP address in networking is like a home address for a device on a network. So the switch will send you to the correct address. Just like as your home address allows you to receive email, IP address is a unique identifier that allows your device to send and receive data on a network or the internet. What is a hub? Okay, while the primary function of a hub connecting devices using the same protocol, a hub can also be thought of a megaphone. A hub also inherently modifies signals by regenerating and broadcasting incoming packets to all connected devices using the same protocol. So it sends information to the network. A hub like a megaphone in a crowded room. When someone speaks into a megaphone, everyone in the room hears the message. Now, signal modifiers in the context of a network devices refer to equipment that adjust or amplify, increase, or transform the signal transmitted across the network to ensure their integrity, strength, and compatibility with different networking standards. So basically, it sends the signal, it sends it further, and making sure it reaches its destination. These devices play a crucial role in maintaining the quality and reliability of communication over various distances and media types. Here are a few types of them. We have the repeaters. Think of a repeater if you watch those runners, relay runners, take a baton from one runners and continue the race. Same thing as a repeater to extend the total distance the team can cover. Same thing, a repeater receives a network signal and regenerate, repeat it to extend it over a range beyond that would be possible due to the signal over long cables. Think about if you are on campus, on your college campus, and the college campus could cover a wide range area. What's going to happen? The university would use repeaters to get you the signal so you could use the internet wirelessly. And we have the amplifier in a network. It's similar to megaphone, the amplify, just like a megaphone. It increases the volume of a person's voice so it can be heard clearly over a greater distance. So simply put, it just like basically strengthening the signal of the network, allowing them to travel longer distance without being degraded, without the signal being degraded. Then we have bridges. What is a bridge? A bridge connects two network segments as long as they're using the same protocol, filtering and forwarding the data based on the media access control address, based on an address. but the bridge works on the same protocol, while gateways are like interpreters between different networks using different protocols. That's the difference between the gateway and the bridge. That's not the only one, but that's mainly the difference. Allowing them to communicate by translating data format and protocols. They enable network to use different communication standards to understand each other, much like a bilingual interpreter. That's what a gateway is. Allow people who speak a different language to talk to each other. Now, gateways can perform complex tasks such as protocol conversion, data translation, and encryption, making them essential for connecting wide network in our interconnected world. We also have proxies. Proxies are intermediaries between the user and the internet. Between the user and the internet, imagine a proxy as a concierge in a hotel who goes out to fetch things on your behalf. How does it work? When you request a specific service like booking a reservation at a restaurant, the concierge, a proxy, will communicate your request without revealing your identity. So it'll communicate with the restaurant without telling them about you, just they're representing you. That's what a proxy is. So a proxy server receives requests from clients, forward those requests to the appropriate server, then return the server response to the client. What's the role of it is privacy. Just as a concierge does not disclose your identity, a proxy does not disclose your identity. It hides your IP address from website you visit to enhance privacy. And like a concierge who knows which places are not safe or suitable and prevent you from going there, proxy can block access to certain website based on content filter, enhancing security and compliance with organizational policies. Let's take a look at this multiple choice question from farhatlectures.com. For a small business setting up its first home office network, which component is essential for connecting the network to the internet? So which component does the connection? Is it NIC? Is it a modem? Is it a hub? Or is it a proxy? So simply put, you need to know the definition for each one of those and knowing which of these components will connect you to the internet, to the wide area network. Is it a NIC? What is a NIC? A NIC is a network interface card allowing you to connect to a network. Yes, a network. Well, it could be an internal network. We're talking about the internet. It could connect you to the internet, but it could be also internal network. So the NIC, yes, it's unique to the piece, to the component, to the laptop, to the desktop, but it doesn't have to connect you to the internet. It could, but that's not its job. It could connect you to a local area network. So I would say NIC is not. Is it a modem? Is this the role of a modem? I would say yes. A modem connects a local network to the internet, making it essential to access the internet. So I would say modem is a good answer choice, but let's see C and D. I would go with modem at this point. But you need to know what a hub is. A hub is a basic networking device that connects multiple devices on a local area network, but it does not provide internet access. So it connects your network within your local area network, within your home, but it doesn't connect you to the internet. And what is a proxy? A proxy is an intermediary between a client and the internet, but it's not primarily used to establish internet connection. What's primarily used to establish internet connection between LAN and WAN, between a LAN and a WAN, you need a modem to connect. What should you do now? You want to go to Farhat Lectures, look at additional MCQs if you're studying for your CPA exam. Invest in yourself, invest in your career. Good luck, study hard, and of course, stay safe.